Hi everyone, CJF Hotshot here, and this is actually a video that I've been putting off making for a while because of a general lack of motivation to do things, so that's fun. But life stuff aside, welcome to my video on Wally West's character arc in DC Rebirth, which in this very particular case will be from DC Rebirth through up to Flash War, because like DC Rebirth, in my opinion, ends when Bendis takes over Superman. So yeah, we're just gonna get right back into it and look at Wally's character arc in depth and why it actually sucked at the time. Right, and let's go. We start off on basically the publication date of June 2016. Wally West has just come back to life after being lost in the Speed Force because someone decided to fuck with the timeline. Yeah, so no one remembers Wally. It's a lot like what happened after Flash Ignition, where Wally has to reveal his secret identity to people in order for them to remember him. And it generally works on everyone, except Linda, except the woman he married. So he's kind of stuck in this single bachelor phase that everyone else in DC's in at the time. Wally goes to the Titans after being resurrected by Barry and getting a costume that was editorially mandated by Dan DiDio. He goes to the Titans to rejog their memories and literally ask for help. Because he can't join the JLA because Batman's there and he doesn't want to work with them. At least that's my headcanon for it. Luckily, most of his old friends are there, along with someone who he hasn't talked to in a while, Lilith Clay. Now, what makes Lilith Clay unique is that she can actually pretty much act as a therapist, where she can search your mind and search your soul, basically, in order to basically help you out. Basically, imagine Cecile from the CW Flash show, but written well. That's Lilith. Lilith's cool, alright? So, all Wally wants is to reconnect to the people he loves, and especially Linda, who's the one person he can't reconnect with for some reason. And after finding out that Kadabra has been attacking Keystone City and the people Wally loves, he shifts into overdrive in an attempt to protect everyone and dies. But yes, alright, this is basically Titans Volume 1, Return of Wally West. This is basically the greatest hits of Wally West. This is basically a tribute to the Mark Waid era of The Flash. So a bunch of the tropes from that era get implanted into this arc, to where this is, for 6 issues, for the first 6 issues, Titans 2016 is a Flash book. So after Wally defeats Kadabra and starts to attempt to integrate himself into this new world, he races over to Central City to help out Barry Allen and his baby brother Ace. Alright, Ace West is Wally West's cousin, but they were raised together, but Ace doesn't know that yet because the timeline's fucky-wucky. Again, blame Barry Allen for this, he doesn't know shit. So, Wally meets it up with Ace, Ace not knowing who Wally is yet, and Wally just keeping it all together, just gives Ace some advice on how to deal with Barry, because Ace is struggling a bit, and just like, you know, the Flash over there is a really cool guy. I might have some personal beef with him right now, but he means no harm. Just stick it out with him. So Wally and Ace run off to their respective Titans books, into where Lazarus Contract happens. Well, okay, before Lazarus Contract, there's also some key things that happen in Titans. Mainly that Wally reconnects with Superman, and Superman's just like, yeah, Wally, don't worry, you'll get back set into your real life soon enough. I have a son, John, now. Lois and I are doing great together. You'll find Linda again. You'll find happiness again. You just have to rough it out for now, because I promise the sunshine will be fine. You're the hope of the universe, after all, Wally. So Wally's just like, yeah, okay, and sticks it out with the Titans for a while. Still gets a therapy from Lilith. And then, now, Lazarus Contract happens, in which the first thing that happens is Wally and Ace get kidnapped, and Deathstroke reveals their names to each other. And Ace is freaked out, because at this point, Ace is still going by Wally. I'm just calling him Ace for simplicity's terms, and because that's what his name is now. So Ace is just like, you're Wally West? I've never met you until like 3 weeks ago. And Wally's just like, yeah, all right. We have to rough this out. West brothers together. So Wally and Ace basically connect all over this, and during some time travel shenanigans due to Deathstroke gaining artificial Speed Force powers, Damian Wayne decides it's a good idea to have a kid version of Wally West, again this is time travel, to give a kid version of Wally West a heart attack. And now Wally has to wear a pacemaker for the rest of his time with the Titans, you know, because Damian Wayne in this era, in Teen Titans 2016 specifically, is character regressed version again. So he is an asshole here. Yeah, like Damian Wayne deserved better writing at this point, and so did Wally West at this point. So after Lazarus' contract, there was a Judas Among Us. Why is that? Every time I hear Among Us now, I just think of the video game. I swear. Right. Wally's basically writing a goodbye to the Titans note because he realized his time's up. It's just like, oh my god, we're on issue 20 now? Yeah, I gotta fucking leave the Titans. Like, he saw his contracts go up and he's just like, oh yeah, this is the time I normally leave the Titans book. So he goes to leave, but then he dies again for the second time in this run. Ace hears this across the Speed Force and manages to revive Wally and get rid of the pacemaker because Ace did a good one for his older brother, his older cousin. I know they're stated to be cousins, but like they're raised in the same household, and their relationship, for as little issues as they have together, is very brotherly in that sense. Wally is very much the older brother looking out for Ace. So the Titans disband after Batman being a hypocritical bitch, because Batman sees the Titans, sees that Wally's getting therapy, and is just like, nah, we can't have that. I'll make my own therapy center with robots, because people don't have emotions. That's my Batman voice. Right, so Wally's just like, yeah, fuck you, Batman. I'm moving back to Keystone, and I'm setting up shop as the Flash. And in doing so, he reconnects with Barry and Ace, catches up to where they're at. Ace knows Barry's the Flash, Ace knows Wally's the Flash, and he's still very confused, but we move on. Wally sets up shop in Keystone, but then Perfect Storm happens, and Barry loses his powers. Wally races over to Central City to see what he can do to help, catches Barry from a falling building. Barry's lost his powers, so Wally takes charge as the main Flash. He's just like, finally, I'm in my element. All right. Ace, Avery's in this book now. Ace, Avery, we're gonna make up a plan as we go along, and we're just gonna do what we can to save the day. And that's what Wally does. After Perfect Storm, and after a lot of things with Barry, we get the Flash War, where Wally starts having temporal seizures, because there's certain things that he still remembers from the past, but because of how he's both integrated into the post-crisis timeline and integrated into the new 52 DC Rebirth timeline, all these memories are starting to flare together into temporal seizures. Right, side note, Wally gets seizures a lot. Like, Speed Force seizures. It happened to him as a kid. It happened to him as a teenager. It's happened to him when, in his last arc as the Flash in This Was Your Life, Wally West, and now he's getting them again. So this is something Wally's used to, and like Barry rarely ever sees. So Barry is just like, no, we have to fix you. I'm going to take you to my friend Vic. And Wally's just like, your friend Vic? My friend Vic? He was in the Titans, man. So Flash War happens. Wally and Barry bicker, and Wally races into the Speed Force and shatters the Speed Force barrier because Zoom basically told Wally, yo, your kids are missing. Go get them. Like, this, I'm doing a solid for you, Wally, because I'm actually very sympathetic towards you. He's lying at this point, but I'm very sympathetic towards you, Wally. And Wally's just like, I've got to get my kids back. I remember my kids. Holy fuck. So he races into the Speed Force. Barry attempting to give chase. Superman attempting to give chase. And he shatters the Speed Force barrier and breaks into the Forever Force. And Hunter was just like, ha ha ha, my master plan all along. Because of your time-displaced memories, I can now have access to all of the forces and all of the powers and all of the things that Barry Allen has to deal with later. So, Wally defeats Zoom. The Flash defeats Zoom via the memories of his family. saves Bart accidentally, like he brings Bart back from the Speed Force, just like how Barry brought Wally back before him, and almost brought Jimmy back. And Wally is on the run, looking for Linda, looking for his kids, and in doing so, just helping people. Again, this is something that's very common that happens. When Wally's having a mental breakdown, he just runs. He just runs and helps people. He's a nice guy like that. He's just like, when he's feeling down, he does what he can. Even at his worst, he's still helping people. So, as Flash War ends, and as Wally slows down, he collapses into Barry and Iris's arms, and Bruce takes him to the AI robot therapy program. And that's where we end it off. And what you'll notice here is that Wally didn't really do what he set out to do. He didn't find his kids at the end of the day. He barely brought Bart back. Like, good on Wally, you brought Bart back. But he's still filled with all these editorial mandates, but he can only have this costume, and he has to be, subservient to Barry. Like, whenever Williamson writes Wally and Barry together, he always does what he can to have Barry dominate the conversation a little. And when Barry's like, gives Wally the space to breathe, he's just like, you're the leader now, Wally, it's like forgotten in the next issue. Like, that's what happens a lot in Williamson's Flash run. Because DC still wants to keep Barry as the main Flash. Luckily, Wally's the main Flash now. Read Flash, 1 Minute War. It's really good. I love it. The new issues have just come out at the time of this video's release, so pick them up. Flash 794 and Flash Start the Clock. Yeah. But yeah, that's Wally's arc in DC Rebirth. We're stopping it here because, very conveniently, DC Rebirth ends when Bendis starts on Superman. And Bendis starts on Superman right here. And we don't have to talk about Heroes in Crisis or Flash Forward or what happens after it. We just don't have to. If you want me to talk about those, no. Well, I might talk about Flash Forward one day, but like I've talked about Hick already, and you know that I don't like it. So yeah. Anyway, let me know in the comments below what types of videos you want to see me do next. And until next time, have a good day.